joining us today. Thank you so much. So I met you a couple of years ago, just once in person at your daughter's birthday party.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met 2 years ago and we probably hung out maybe 2 hours. And then I feel like we've had this connection through social media for like the past 2 years. So I feel like I know you so well, but we
Yeah.
only had that one time.
I know. I feel the same way. It's so funny because in the back of my mind, I think like we're friends, and I'm like,
Right.
like I don't know, like we met for a couple of hours, but you just made a lasting impression on me, and I think the whole fitness thing, we're both so passionate about it, and so I think that also connects us. So I knew I had to have you on my podcast because your goals for not just me. I mean, like I admire you and look up to you, and I know a lot of women out there do, because you do, not only do you stay in ridiculous shape, but you also do it while being a wife and a mother to 3 kids. And so I just, this whole podcast is about inspiring people to live a life that they have always dreamed of living, and a healthy lifestyle. And so yeah, I just wanted to kind of learn more about you, since I really don't know a whole lot about your life. So where did you grow up? And yeah.
I grew up in Southern California. I really was always active. Like I was always outside. I was roller skating at 2, and then I did ice skating and gymnastics. I was always into some kind of activity. And growing up, we always went on family trips, snow skiing, water skiing. So I think my love for just being active started at a young age. I just loved the activity, and I went to high school and joined the swim team and did cheerleading, and the activity never really stopped. So I think my first job was at an LA Fitness because I wanted the free gym membership.
Oh.
So that was during high school. So that's when I would say that's probably when my love for actual fitness started. I just really didn't know what I was doing. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how it all progressed. Just, starting at a young age, being active, and getting into my high school years, and, working at a gym and kind of watching people and trying to copy what they were doing, because I really didn't know what I was doing. And, that's kind of how it started.
That's amazing. So did your parents grow up working out in a gym, or did you just like see people like that you wanted to look like or be like, that inspired you to get a job at a gym and start lifting? And
my parents were active, and my mom would go to the gym, but not like you would see people who really go to the gym today. I guess it was just her and her friends would kind of go to the gym, but I really didn't know anybody that was fully into fitness. I really, it sounds funny, but I would watch people on TV. There would be those workout shows, and even at a young age, I remember being drawn to that, and they look so fit, and I want to be that way. But I really had no guidance. I had no idea what I was doing. So a lot of that was just trying to figure that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so funny, because I remember growing up, my first like fitness memory that I guess I haven't really thought about until you just said this is like a Barbie jazzercise video that I had.
Right.
Barbie, and I would do it, and I'm like, oh, I want to be like, these girls like working out.
Right. I know. It's just, there's just something you see that triggers that passion, I guess.
Yeah. And Jane Fonda and like those.
Oh yeah.
My mom.
Yep.
Yeah. I think we've always like had it in us from a young age.
Yep.
So after LA Fitness, and you kind of like learned, I'm assuming, a lot about actually how to lift and work out there, and then what happened to you next? What happened after?
I mean, a little bit. I did. I got a couple trainers, and all these trainers had different styles of training, and I really just wasn't figuring out what worked for me. And it wasn't until probably I met Steve, because I was only 20 when I met him. So I was really like 2 years out of high school. So yeah, baby. So he was into fitness, and we both kind of got more into it at the same time. I remember reading muscle and fitness magazines and all that kind of stuff. And then we started drinking protein shakes every day. We knew that there had to be a protein shake, because that's just what bodybuilders did, is drink protein shakes. So, but we joined a gym when we were married, and it just kind of evolved into, I think I was young enough to where I didn't understand the nutrition part of it yet, but I started to understand more of the weight training. I mean, looking back, I'm like, I don't think I totally knew what I was doing, but I did my best. And whatever, I did a lot of classes too. I would just go into classes. But it wasn't until I had my firstborn, I was 25. That's really when everything changed, because I really needed to figure out the nutrition part of it. And I met a nutrition coach when McKenna, who's now almost 17, was only about a year old. And she taught me everything about nutrition. And
your body changed a lot after having McKenna?
Yeah. It changed for sure. Yeah. Having that first child, your body changes. And I really think it's all good changes, and it's hard to explain, because it doesn't seem like good changes in the beginning, but I never gained, probably 50, 60 pounds with her. And I never had to lose that kind of weight. So that was like, whoa, what the heck? And I had to kind of figure that out. And I did lose it, but I wanted to know why and how, and I wanted to do it in a healthy way. So that's when I met with her, and she explained, the different parts of nutrition and how they fuel your body and how certain things work certain ways. And it really that from that point on, it changed everything. So, wow. And then it made me want to go. I actually got my own certification after that, because I just wanted to learn more. I said, well, that's great. You gave me this plan and this works, but I want to know why, and I want to know more. And
right. It became a passion for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's amazing. Similar situation too. Yeah. Because I just wanted to learn. I love learning about the body as well.
Yeah.
Why things work for certain people, but they don't work for people, and all these theories about the blood type diet and going vegan or vegetarian or keto, or and I'm like, well, where does all this science come from, and why does it work for some and not others? And so yeah, it just becomes kind of addicting, because you just
it is, and you have to figure out what works for you, and not what works for me might not work for somebody else. And
right, which is like a huge thing I'm sure you get this on social media, with people asking, especially women asking, like, what diet should I be on, or what protein powder should I have? And it's really hard to answer that, because everybody is so different. And it sounds like you had a similar situation. It took me years of trial and error to figure out what worked for me. And sometimes I feel like I'm still trying to figure it out.
Right.
I kind of think I do, but everybody is different, and what might work for somebody doesn't work for another person. So,
exactly.
What do you get women asking you that, or people asking you, and what's your response to that?
I get a lot of either what should I be eating, and obviously I need to know a lot of information. But a lot of just how to get started. A lot of people, there's so much information out there, and it gets so overwhelming, and they just quit because it's too much, and it's understandable. So I'm like, you just start one step at a time, one good habit. Like, start by getting an app where you can track what you're eating, know what you're eating. Like, that's, people have no idea what they're eating. And drinking, I'm so big on water. I'm always telling people, drink your water first thing in the morning. Water, water, water. So once they're a little more aware of that, and then just start moving, just walk, just, these little things, one thing at a time. And I feel like each new habit just creates more habits, and then it just slowly becomes a lifestyle change.
Yeah,
So
I 100% agree with you, because a lot of people will try to jump in and go on a crazy diet or crazy course or class of some kind, like a program, and they get burnt out super quickly or discouraged, or they're like, it's too hard, I can't do it. I'm like, but you don't need to go from 0 to 100. Like, just make something. If you're used to drinking soda all day, just cut back, and eventually, stop the sodas and change it out with water, with whatever the healthier version of that is. And once that becomes a lifestyle of cutting out the bad stuff and kind of replacing it, and it becomes a lifestyle, it becomes like not so stressful anymore, used to it, then like change something else that isn't good for you and replace that. And like you said, start on a walk and then maybe a jog. Or I remember when I first got into fitness and I was so out of shape, I hired a trainer, and I tell you, she was like $50 a session, and I could barely afford. I think I had her, I was in my early 20s, and I hired her once a month, and she would give me homework to do, and I would check back in, and I cut out Starbucks, and I cut out all this stuff so I could afford her. And she told me, run from one light post to the other, and then walk, and then run, and then walk. And like, and so that's how I started, because I couldn't physically run a block.
Right. Wow.
Shape. And so she had me do that. And so I go back to that, of where I started. And I think it helped to have someone tell me, like, you don't have to just jump into. I tried doing Jillian Michaels like workout DVDs, and I couldn't finish one, and it was so discouraging. And she's like, because you don't have to just jump from 0 to 100. Like, start slow and gradually like work your way up. So
exactly.
Great advice. Yeah,
exactly. And not the crazy crash diets also. A lot of women I work with think they have to just drop their calories to a unsustainable amount. And I'm all about things that are sustainable. I'm like, because they'll ask me about certain diets. What do you think about this diet? What do you think about that diet? And I said, well, is it going to be sustainable for you? Or because if it's just going to help you lose all the weight and then you don't know what to do, then no, I don't think that is the right thing. So I like teaching people how to eat and how to make different choices as a lifestyle, not a diet.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
It has to be a lifestyle and a way of life.
Right. No, I 100% agree with that. I hear of these programs that, you pay for, kind of like a Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig, but they like cut out all of your carbs, or they, and I'm like, that's not a lifestyle. Like, I 100% agree. Like, you can do something quick to lose the weight, or I even know women that have done like pills and stuff, and they lose weight, and then when they go back to their normal life, they're like, great, I've lost my weight. They gain it all back, and sometimes more, and then by then you've messed up your metabolism so much,
right,
you physically can't get the weight off, or it's way harder to do. So yeah, finding something that you can make a lifestyle is just 100% the way to go. And it's definitely going to be harder and a longer process, but you're gonna it's going to pay off in the end. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So with quarantine, we're in like a whole new world and we don't have gyms right now. What are
Yes.
you doing to stay fit?
Well, I'm not a stranger to home workouts because we had lived in Tennessee for, 5 or so years. And Steve was traveling a lot. I mean, we both kind of traveled all over the place as a family, but I've always worked out at home. I mean, I've just found ways to get it done, because there's so much you can do with no equipment or minimal equipment. And I just kind of made it work. So it wasn't that big of a change for me. I love going out to a gym. It's nice to just get out and go to a gym. But if I can't, I just got creative here. I mean, I've used my kitchen counter, I've used my sofa, I've used stuff outside. And then we were able to get a few things for the garage. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people are having a tough time finding equipment right now. Yeah. But there's plenty of stuff you can do just body weight alone. Mm-hmm. But I just kind of figured it out. Yeah. Just do what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. You actually don't need that much equipment.
You really don't.
To get a really good workout.
You don't. And you really don't have to do anything fancy. I mean, I tell people, you just go on a walk. Can you do a lunge? Could do some lunges and some squats, mm-hmm. maybe some push-ups and sit-ups, and you're good. Yeah. Just do something.
Right. And then I saw that you got into a fighting class recently.
Yes, it's funny because I think it was before I had kids. I would do like all the cardio kickboxing at the gym, and I loved it. And I actually started doing it after my first 2 kids. I started doing it more because I loved it. I don't know. It was fun and it was challenging and intense. And I just recently started up again because, they're pretty much private classes. So obviously there's not a lot of other people, and it's challenging me, and it's something different and something new. And I'm learning self-defense. So I'm getting this really great workout and learning self-defense. So it's awesome. And now my McKenna, my oldest, is going to be doing it with me also.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So you just kind of work the kids in with your stuff. Because when they were little, I had a jogger. When I had 2 little ones, I had the double jogger. And you just make it work. You just do what you have to do, because it like anything that's a priority in your life, I feel so good, and it helps me mentally and gives me energy and helps me do the things I need to do I want to do as a wife and as a mom. So. And
you're like superwoman. I mean, and for those of you who don't know,
I don't mean to come off that way. I'm not.
For those of you that don't know, so Sheree is married to an actor. So Steve is an actor. You said he travels all the time. And then I think
not so much right now.
Not so much anymore.
Right.
But for most of your kids' lives, he's traveled a lot. And so do you, I think I want to say, I remember you homeschooled them even before COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's nothing really new either.
Right. So you have found a way to homeschool the kids, and like everybody's seeing how hard that is now, and taking care of the house and being a wife and to an actor, which is, I just know from dating an actor for a little bit that it is difficult. So it takes a strong woman to do that. And then keeping in amazing shape. And so I think that's exactly why I wanted you on here, because I think a lot of women struggle to balance everything. So what have you found? How does it work for you? You found a way to kind of balance everything and have a successful marriage, since you guys got married in your early 20s, and had kids pretty young, and so what do you credit to a successful marriage being a successful mom and staying in shape?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, things aren't always perfect. Obviously, if you could see my house right now, it's a little bit of a mess. But I'm like, I pick my battles. The kids will always have clean clothes. I'll always make sure they eat, but I might not have a model looking home. It's lived in, and we live in it. And I'm just like, it's fine, because I know one day they won't be here and I'll have all the time in the world to clean. So I'm just like, I don't care. Sometimes I do. And now they're older, that they have chores, and they can definitely pull their own weight and help me out. So that's good. But I don't know, I guess we've just made it work. And, we're a team, and he helps me and I'll help him when he needs to do stuff. And I think we all just kind of work together. And he and my kids know I have to get my workout in every day. And it's not in like a selfish or, I would just need an hour, not even sometimes. Just that's all I need. And I feel great to get everything else done. And I've just learned to kind of plan a little bit more, and because I am not a planner. I hate planning. I hate schedules. I just kind of like to do my thing. Right. But with fitness and a healthy lifestyle, you have to plan a little bit. You kind of have to know what you're going to have for dinner and things like that, especially with the kids. So, I guess we all just kind of work together and balance it, the best we can.
Yeah, and I think that's a struggle that women have, just from training women for a long time now, is they feel guilty for leaving for that hour to go work out, because they feel like they should be with their kids. And I tell them it's kind of like on an airplane when they say you have to cover yourself with the mask before
Yep.
you someone else. If you don't take care of yourself first,
right,
everyone else in your family is going to be taken care of. So you taking that hour actually does so much for your family to better them, because
right,
you feel good, you have the energy, you feel good about yourself, so that you are able to take care of your husband and take care of your kids. And then they see you're setting such a great example. I'm sure. I mean, like, it sounds like your daughter,
they're all starting to. My son's working out. My daughter, my youngest one's always, been right with me in the, even when she was tiny, she would try to do little push-ups and stuff. So yeah, they watch you and they learn. And I teach them, when I'm making dinner and different food choices, or they pick something, I never go about it and we never talk about weight or anything like that. I'm teaching them how the foods we're choosing, how they're fueling our body, like for breakfast before school, I said, you need, this is why you should eat this balanced meal, because you want, your, fueling your brain and your heart and your energy. And if you eat this, you're just, so I try to teach them that way. And right now they're like, okay, whatever, but they're still hearing it. So
yeah, and I think that's great, because I think, especially these days with technology, kids are smart and they pick up things, and so they don't want to just hear eat this. Like, they want to, like, kind of have to talk to them like adults sometimes. I think that works better, to explain why you're doing something.
Yeah,
so I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I thought to ask you, so obviously Steve is in good shape as well, so you both work out, which I think is amazing, because I do find that in a relationship it's kind of tough when one partner isn't into eating healthy.
I get a lot of that.
So what if Steve wasn't? like what would you do?
Well, we probably wouldn't. No, I'm kidding. I don't know, because he's always kind of been into it. It would definitely be difficult, because I have personal coaching clients, and I actually hear that quite a bit, of my husband's not on board. He's supporting me, but he's just not on board. So they're constantly you know, being tempted by this other food that the rest of their family's eating. And it's hard. I mean, it takes some discipline and willpower, but I mean, really, that's just kind of what you have to do. And I'm fortunate that I don't have to deal with that. So
definitely. No, I had a client who was so determined, but her husband would order pizza almost every night. Like the pizza place already knew when he called one night. Yeah, like that's how bad it was. And then in the mornings he would go get either McDonald's or donuts. And you know, she usually would eat it all with him, and she just decided no. And she was, it's so hard, but she did it, and she's lost a ton of weight and she's good. But she's like, the willpower I have to see my poor salad or my poor whatever that she makes herself, and then he's got like donuts or pizza. And so it takes a lot of willpower. So I give women like that, or men like that if it's the other way, so much credit, because it does take a lot of willpower if your partner's not in it. But
and even work, like with jobs, I had a client and also a friend who she literally had to deliver donuts every single day. And she says, I have to sit here and smell these donuts in my car for an hour and not grab one. And I'm like, you can do it. You can do it. And she did really great. And I feel like you come out so much stronger when you're just so proud of yourself. Not that you can't have a donut here and there, but when you're trying to reach a certain goal and you're just trying to, you know, stay on track, it's different. And she would go to these catering things, and she's like, you should see, she would send me videos of all this amazing looking food. And she would send me videos of, here's my, you know, chicken and rice and salad. Thanks. You know? But I said, yeah, but how good do you feel? You're just going to drag yourself down if you eat that every day. So
true.
It's so much how they feel. You know, I always talk about, it's not just aesthetics. Obviously that plays a part. But the first thing I always focus on is health and how someone feels, how it's going to make you feel to change your habits.
Yeah, health and fitness, it starts from the inside and works its way out.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that. It's like you can go for it, and I find that the people that are doing it purely for aesthetics, they don't last too long if they don't see the importance of feeling good.
Right.
And they're just doing it, you know, then they'll do great for a while until they see results, and then they'll go back to the food that
right. It's true.
Like, but if you just have it in your mind, I'm going to take on this lifestyle because I want to feel good, I want to live long, I want to be healthy, I want to have a great you know, active life, and my grandkids and all that.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you start to see the results, and that's just a great bonus to me.
Right.
Is, is how you feel, and then how you look. So what is your diet like now, today?
My diet, I mean, I like to say it's a little bit boring. I'm fine with eating a lot of the same things every day. My breakfast is definitely always the same. Honestly, ever since I went to that first nutrition coach, I love oatmeal. I'm a weird oatmeal lover kind of person. I remember as a 5-year-old kid loving the little baby cereal, like the flakes, oatmeal flakes. And I remember to this day, my mom saying, you know, you're kind of out of the toddler stage, but I just love oatmeal. So, and I love all the health benefits. So weird like that. But I have my eggs and oatmeal every morning. It's like my favorite breakfast. Sometimes I'll make an omelet with vegetables in it, or put a little almond butter in the oatmeal. But really that's my breakfast. And I'll have my 3 main meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then usually snacks in between. And one of my snacks is always a protein shake. And then the other one could be anything from rice cakes and almond butter to some dark chocolate or strawberries and whipped cream, or, you know, that mid-afternoon snacks usually Could be anything. Maybe some hard-boiled eggs. Sounds boring, but it's good. It's sustainable. I enjoy it. So.
Yeah, definitely. And then you have your own. Do you and Steve have your own protein powder?
We have our own protein powder. So that started a few years ago, and we honestly started that because we always had protein shakes, and we're like, maybe we can just make our own that is really like the highest quality we can make it, and just for ourselves, and for it to taste good. And then we did that, and then figured, well, why wouldn't we, sell this to the public, because it's a great product. So that's how that started. And then once we did that, I started my business, like more of a business Instagram account, just about 3 years ago. And that slowly turned into kind of my own, helping women just get healthy of all ages. I've worked with women from their 20s to 80s. So everyone has a different goal, but just trying to help them whatever stage they're in, and just either get healthy or get back to being healthy or get started. So, but yeah, that's how all that started.
That's amazing. So where do you have any goals for I know you're not a planner. I'm not.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I'm doing tomorrow, but no.
Do you have goals, or do you have because I could tell, we both have this passion for it, and we help people for free. Like, we don't even, need anything for it. But do you have some sort of end goal that you see in your fitness life? Something that you want to do, a project that you want to do, or?
I have personal clients, like I do personal one-on-one coaching. Everything's done online. I haven't even worked with anyone locally. Everyone, is either on the East Coast or Midwest, but that's worked out really well. So I've been doing that. And then I do my challenges, which I've done. And that's usually 7 or 10 days. And I'm hands-on every day. And it's really, they're more, I like to call them more of a workshop, because I try to give all the information and tools that everyone needs to just get started. Because I think that's the biggest thing is women, it's just, they don't know how to get started. So everything gets overwhelming, like we said before. So that's kind of what that does. And I do lives, answer questions, and I'll do some live workouts. And, it's always all women. So we just kind of get this connection. I've gotten to know so many of them, and that have done several challenges, and it's awesome. So I love doing that. I'm also currently working on doing a program that where it's almost kind of like the challenges I do in a program. So it could be like a 6 or 12-week program with helping people figure out their calories and macros with workouts and something like that. So I'm really just always trying to figure out ways to help women out, who just feel lost or need motivation or just some guidance. So
amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, me too. Awesome. And then where can people find you? Your Instagram?
Instagram, my website, shereeburton.com, and I'll be adding more things to that in the future. So.
Oh, good. Well, we look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Of course. We have to have you back one day. I loved this. This was awesome.
Yeah.
I love the girl power and girls.
Yes.
Out. I am always for that.
Awesome.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.